Royals baseball from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. We are down to the last two road games for the Royals, interleague games with the Cincinnati Reds. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. The Royals were 41 games below 500 in the first half. They're just 7 games below 500 in the second half. Several facets of the Royals game has improved, including the starting pitching, and Eric Skoglund will go to the mound tonight.
Yeah, there's a different energy about the ball club. There's no doubt about it. But Skoglund, after his major league debut, he was on the top shelf. I mean, that debut against Verlander and the Tigers, we'll never forget it. But he went to the bottom floor quickly. In order for him to resurface, he had to figure some things out. He had to execute his pitches better, location, arm angle, all the above, and he's done that. Really looking good since he came back from the DL.
And of course, the Royals offense has improved quite a bit in the second half, thanks in part to Whit Merrifield working on a career year, but he's not the only second baseman working on a career year in this series. In Cincinnati the next couple days, and Hud, we have two second basemen who are both having really good years, and both are blossoming late in their careers.
They are. One from the right side, one from the left. Scooter Gennett, he came on strong last season and started to believe, and that's a big part of it. You have to have a chip like Whit has on his shoulder, or some kind of confidence to succeed at this level, and it's going to be a fun series to watch these two attack the baseball.
Eric Skoglund will go up against Matt Harvey. Remember him? started. The Royals and Reds, they met at Kauffman Stadium back in June. The Reds swept that series, but that was the first half version of the Royals. Game 1 of a 2-game series begins next. The Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. Looking from Ohio into Kentucky, and it rained all day yesterday and into the night. There is rain in the forecast tonight, but we will start on time, albeit with a light drizzle. And here's the Royals batting order presented by GMC, and by all accounts everyone is rested and refreshed after a day off yesterday, and with a right-hander Matt Harvey on the mound. Ned Yost will get some left-hand hitting outfielders in there, Brian Goodwin and Brett Phillips, and with the National League rules, Eric Skoglund will hit as he did in his last start on Tuesday at Pittsburgh. This will be the second time that the Royals face Matt Harvey since the 2015 World Series. We'll never forget this. Alcides Escobar leading off the bottom of the first inning and an inside the park home run, and then Game 5 when Terry Collins, Mets manager, informed Matt Harvey that he was coming out of the game. Harvey argued his way back in, and after a leadoff double, or a leadoff walk and then a double by Eric Hosmer, the Royals eventually tied the game, won the game, and won the World Series. And Matt Harvey has not been the same since.
Ever since. And the Royals, I like to say, turned him from the dark night to day night. Believe it. They didn't believe any of that. They were on a mission and they attacked. Just like Skoglund's going to do tonight. He's going to pitch for his life. Even though he gets one more start, I understand. This is the night. He told me yesterday, I saw him. He says, look, I'm going to pitch for my life tonight and keep the ball down and trust my defense. Either I get fly ball outs or ground ball outs. They're all the same.
But if he doesn't have a great night, we expect that he'll survive, and we'll see him tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. These guys are finishing strong. The Royals, anyway.
Matt Harvey. Those are his combined numbers, but if you break him down with the Mets and the Reds, he had a 7 ERA with the Mets. He was traded to the Reds, and his ERA here is 4.46.
Now, you know, his manager Jim Riggleman had kind things to say about him today in his pregame meeting, And you see his key to get him for the Royals, look for the high heat. Busted. 15 home runs he's given up on that fastball. He likes his heater. It's about 94 miles an hour on the average. Tee her high and let her fly. This ballpark can't hold him. It's really small. Defensively, the Reds, they're 7th in the fielding percentage at .985 in their league of 15 and are -6 this season in defensive runs saved, which is 18th out of 30 teams. Tucker Barnhart, he's thrown out 20% of runners. You can run on him and Harvey.
Our crew chief is Tom Hallion. He'll call the balls and strikes with Dan Bellino at first, Adam Hammery at second, Phil Cuzzy is at third. Royals on this last road trip so far, they are 2-5 through Pittsburgh and Detroit, and the Reds just got home from a 3-7 road trip, and they will finish the regular season at home. After the Royals, the Pirates will be in here to wrap up the regular season. Whit Merrifield walks to the plate with his 14-game hitting streak. He is the only Royal in history with 4 hitting streaks of 12 or more games. His career high is 19, which he accomplished last year.
That's phenomenal. I mean, that's really hard to do. 4 hitting streaks of 12 plus. How about just 1 in your career, 1 12-game hitting streak? But he uses the whole field, line to line. Defenses all play him straight up. There's no shifting on Whit Merrifield. He'll be looking for that fastball. Now, lots of times he'll go ahead and take a hack at the first one.
1 ball, no strikes. Whit is 6th in the league at .304. He leads the league right now in hits and stolen bases. He has a 2-hit advantage and a 3 stolen base advantage.
Wants to continue to finish strong. Attack. Be aggressive. And he's been getting his walks, though. He's walked a ton this year, which is really one of the reasons how he's getting so many steals. 59 bags, or excuse me, 59 walks.
3-1. Last year he had 29 walks.
Really picked it up.
Popped up into the gray drizzling sky, and Barnhart, who won a Gold Glove last year, brings it down. 1 away. Matt Harvey, last pitch Wednesday at Milwaukee, and he gave up 7 runs in 5 1/3 innings. Adalberto Mondesi with 1 out. He had 2 home runs in the Royals Tigers series. And he is finishing strong. No balls and 1 strike. Over his last 24 games, he's hitting almost .350 with 8 home runs. No balls, 2 strikes. That is not as much of an issue now as it was last year and the year before. With our Kubota Power stats, his slugging percentage is still high with 2 strikes. In fact, 2nd highest in the major leagues over the last month. Whereas his first 2 years, all pitchers really had to do was get to 2 strikes on him, and then the at-bat was essentially over.
He was overmatched, had 0 confidence.
Showing bunt with the count 1-2, and then taking a strike. Interesting.
Yes, and let's remember, as polished as he's been this last month, we're still going to see some things that you go, I don't know what he was doing there.
Alex Gordon with 2 outs and nobody on. hit hard to first. And a nice play by Votto. He gets it to Harvey. And down go the Royals. 1, 2, 3. Eric Skoglund will make his first career start against the Reds tonight. The Cincinnati Reds against Eric Skoglund, presented by GMC. And in this ballpark, there are very few bad hitting Reds teams. The Reds are third in the National League in batting average. Their offense comes into tonight having struggled. They have been shut out 5 times in their last 9 games. And they'll get their first look at Eric Skoglund, who's been very good since coming back from the disabled list.
Certainly has. He's figured out a few things, and that is to use the lower part of the strike zone. That's going to get you a lot more success than middle and up, especially in this ballpark where the ball flies out of there. Now wants to mix in his off speed. His changeup in his last 2 starts have been really good, but 43% of all total off speeds has gotten him his share of outs.
Fouled away by Scott Schebler, who is the Reds left fielder. And as the team has struggled offensively lately, so have several individuals. And Schebler's hitting 160 over his last 10 games. And that's going to go down on a ground ball to O'Hearn. 1 away.
Defensively, the Royals that are playing behind Skoglund this afternoon are +9 this season in defensive runs saved. That's 15th best and 6th best in the American League. Now the Royals were -4 prior to the All-Star break. That'll tell you they played a lot more tighter defense. And of course, Salvador Perez looking for another Gold Glove this year, throwing out 48% of runners. Hope it continues in the series.
Now a strike to Jose Peraza. He has a .290 batting average with 177 hits, which is 5th in the National League. Into shallow right. And Brett Phillips brings it down for the second out. 2 quick outs for Eric Skoglund. Matt Harvey needed just 10 pitches to get the Royals in the first, and now Skoglund has 2 outs with 4 pitches. And now Joey Votto. Skoglund a couple of starts ago against the White Sox was a ground ball pitcher. And then on Tuesday at Pittsburgh, he was a fly ball pitcher, getting 12 outs in the air. Ned Yost before the game said he doesn't really want to give Skoglund any kind of a label, whether he's a ground ball pitcher or a fly ball pitcher. He just wants him to be an out pitcher. But it's a little more dangerous being a fly ball pitcher in this ballpark.
Certainly is.
Votto pulls it through the overshift, and he's on with 2 outs.
But the 43% usage of his secondary pitches will explain the pop-ups and the fly ball outs. Because a hitter gets off balance, he gets out front, his hands there, and he just kind of feels for it, pops up the ball a lot. So he's, you know, there's his pitches there. He's got a whole bunch of them that he uses. He's able to simplify. Mainly in that curveball's been a pretty good pitch for him, but the changeup's been special. Hopefully he continues to have confidence in that field pitch and will use it in his starts today and the last one of the year and in the future.
Upstairs to Eugenio Suarez. He's had a nice year, 32 home runs, 101 RBIs.
Sure, certainly, he's missed some games too, but he's been an impressive hitter. Doesn't get cheated. Took a rip there. And for the most part, the Reds have done a pretty good job hitting left-handers this year. They're hitting .264. Suarez 327 against southpaws. Pull hitter pretty much.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. Two and one. Yeah, Suarez missed 16 games early in the year with a fractured thumb. Grounded to the Royals. Third baseman Dozier has a long throw. It's high, but O'Hearn is there. And that ends a scoreless bottom of the first inning for Skoglund.
Second inning here. And as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in tonight's game.
Yikes. Those are some dark clouds, and the Reds head groundskeeper was speaking with the umpires in between innings and had his iPad out. They were going over the radar. There is rain. It is just missing us right now to the south. Salvador Perez grounds it into center field. That's the Royals' first base runner after Matt Harvey had a 10-pitch 1-2-3 first inning.
Not wasting any time. Salvador's seen that fastball before. Raked it up the middle. Good swing.
So he's on for Ryan O'Hearn, who didn't get a lot of playing time in Detroit, as the Tigers started 3 lefties in the 4-game series. So Ryan had just 4 at-bats. That's well hit. Right center field and deep. And bouncing over the wall for a double. So both Royals hitters in the 2nd inning are first pitch hacking. And the Royals have runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out.
Right on it. Looked to me like it had a chance, but he didn't quite barrel it off the end of the bat. Just a little short. Looked like a changeup. You see the drops on his jersey starting to sprinkle a little here.
It had just stopped, and a lot of the fans who had gone for cover walked down to their uncovered seats. Before they could get comfortable, they're going back up the steps again. 0-1 to Hunter Dozier. He had a tough series against the Tigers. He was just 1 for 17, but as we said in that 4-game series, that one hit was impressive. That line drive home run to straightaway center field. Same pitch, same result, 0-2.
Yeah, whenever you can see the hitter's head pull off of it, that means that the pitcher pulled the string and changed speeds. The whole idea and what Terry Bradshaw in his first year is finally getting through to the Royals hitters is to keep that head on the ball the whole way. That's been what he stresses the most. Hard to do when that pitcher's changing speeds like they do, though.
Back with a fastball, 96 miles an hour.
You know, you mentioned the Gold Glove that Barnhart won last year. He's in his 5th season. Really a smart catcher. Understands what can trick the hitters.
Grounded to Votto, and Salvador Perez holds, and Votto runs across the bag. There's no other play. So 2nd and 3rd and 1 out.
Dozier, he wanted to come through there in the worst way, and he tried to go to the right side, but Votto playing him right there.
He had the right idea.
He did.
He hits it out to Jeanette at second base. That's an RBI.
Yep, it's a big hole over there. But now it's up to Goodwin to pick him up.
.237 for the season. .270 with the Royals for Brian Goodwin. A couple of former National League East rivals matching up here, Harvey and Goodwin.
Like to start going back to the other side like he did his first few hits as a Royal. Hit to the left side, golden.
1-1.
Hamilton plays a shallow center field. Maybe that's the reason he has 12 outfield assists this year. Irvin in right field, he has 3. Schebler, he's got 1 in left. So such a small ballpark, it'd be tough on a hard hit ball to either corner outfielder to score from second.
Two and two.
That's the one he wanted right there. That's one up in the zone. You can get him for a sacrifice fly or better. Just missed it.
Harvey still gets his share of strikeouts. He has 126 with one tonight, but not as many as he got in his best years with the Mets. His two-strike swing and miss rate is way down. His strikeout in the first inning was looking. That's chopped up the middle, and Jeanette makes a nice play to keep it on the infield, and that perhaps saved a run, but Salvador Perez comes down from third. The Royals take a 1-0 lead as Goodwin gets an RBI and O'Hearn stops at third.
Nice job of putting the ball in play up the middle. Same situation Dozier had. He's able to get it there. That good, easy hand swing. Harvey left the ball up. Jeanette scored another run, but looking for that fastball is going to be the Royals' key tonight. Whether you hit it hard or soft, don't matter. Score the runs.
Here's Brett Phillips. Brett was 2 out of 7 in Detroit with a run scored. Starting to get more playing time as that right shoulder is feeling playable. I don't know if he will say it feels good. It feels better following those 10 days after colliding with the wall in Cleveland. 0-2.
Yeah, he won't be 100% probably till maybe Thanksgiving or so. He's going to have to cool that thing down. And diving back into first base, that's been a problem for him. That hurts. Jams the shoulder.
One and two.
He's got that axe handle type of bat at the bottom of the bat. It's a different grip. They call it an axe handle. I just noticed it. I've seen it before, and it's not for everybody. Makes it a little easier on the hamate bone there. You see, it's kind of has like a handle on it.
That knob is angled more so than perfectly perpendicular with the bat handle.
Yeah, you know, I've just only talked to hitters. They didn't have that style when we were playing back in the early 1900s. So this handle's a little different style, but I've noticed some talking to some right-handed hitters, they think it's mainly for a left-handed hitter, and I don't know why. They would say, I don't feel good. But Phillips loves it.
Still 1-2.
Have to get another one now. Battling though, good. You know what? Seeing pitches your first at bat, there's nothing better.
Eric Skoglund is on deck. Stayed back on a changeup, still 1-2. Eric Skoglund was hitless in the game on Tuesday at Pittsburgh. 0 for 2, but he had some good swings.
Yep, got to be looking to hit when you're hitting 8th in front of the pitcher in the National League. Clean the bases off.
Fastball away, strikes him out. 2 down for Skoglund.
Yep, got him high in the zone. Perfect time for Skoglund to find a big league hit, his first, and an RBI attached. Hit a nice ball his last time in his 2 at-bats. He hit one to third base. You know, good swing. Looks like a hitter.
Lined foul into the seats.
Heads up.
Royals have a base hit from a pitcher on this trip. Brad Keller had a base hit and a run scored and triggered a 4-run rally in his start in Pittsburgh. And now it's really starting to come down. So more fans are up and out of their seats.
And a lot of fans came prepared.
A 3-pitch strikeout for Harvey. So the Royals get 1 after having runners at second and third and nobody out. And Harvey strikes out 2 in the inning.
Playing, which means Eric Skoglund back out to the mound, and Skoglund just happy to be here and telling us last week that he's just trying to make sure that he enjoys the game more than he did before. Talking to his pitching coach Cal Eldred about that today, he said there's a reason for that. He got burned by a lot of bad weather early in the season, then he gets hurt, thinks he's done for the year, finishes his rehab, gets hurt again, has to go back, and he's finally worked his way back here. He said he's just got a better perspective. It's not that he had a bad perspective before. He's just experienced some things that are very valuable to him. Carefree, but understanding the amount of work that needs to be done daily and long term. Eric Skoglund growing up.
Thank you, Joel. Here's Scooter Gennett to face Skoglund in the second inning. I will ask that question from time to time when players out with an injury, and usually with guys who miss a full year. After they've missed a full year, not while they're missing a full year. While they're missing it, they're frustrated and wish they were out there.
A lot of emotions.
But when the year is over and they're playing again, or maybe even a year after that, a lot of guys will find some value in the time that they didn't play just by watching the game. Give them a chance to see it from a different angle, reevaluate what they do, maybe change their approach. Not constantly thinking about, you know, if you're a pitcher, not constantly thinking about, well, I got to face this lineup tomorrow. You know, so you're nitpicking every little thing that's going on. Most guys, it seems like when they look back, they're grateful for the time away and just seeing the game from a different angle.
That's exactly right. Especially struggling. Adversity. They say it, you learn a lot more. Wish you didn't have to go through it, but you do.
Oh. 2-2 on Scooter Gennett.
Man, that's right there.
And Gennett looked like he was bracing himself for Tom Hallion to do his trademark ring him up.
Yeah.
Scooter Gennett is a subject of our Toyota League leaders with the second best batting average in the National League. So it'll be tough for him. 6 points back of Christian Yelich. The last Reds player to win a batting title was Pete Rose in '73.
Huh.
Little bloop to second base, and Mondesi's got it for out number 1. It just doesn't seem right. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, you would have thought Votto might have been in there in the running somewhere or gotten one.
And that'll bring up Phillip Ervin. Reds rookie right fielder. Outside for ball 1. He was the Reds' first-round pick 5 years ago out of Samford with an M University. 1-1.
Yep, he's a 5-tool player, they say. He's got a little bit of pop, got some speed. He's had 3 30 stolen base seasons in the minors. Yeah, that's a nice pitch there. A couple seasons of double-digit homers. Working on shortening up his swing in the majors. Like that. That's a good swing. Delino DeShields, manager in Louisville, ex-big leaguer, said that's what he's going to do to succeed. He's got to shorten that swing. That's the compact swing right there he's talking about. Now you got to pull the string on him, try to trick him.
Tried to jam him inside. 2-2. Trying to go the other way with 2 strikes. And now Salvi calls for the changeup. Three and two.
Good spot. Trying to get him to swing out of the zone. This is where you say, okay, I'm not going to give him a free pass. I'm going to hit the low part of the zone here with whatever the pitch it is. Ooh. Got away with middle.
So he's seen 8 pitches. Coming back from 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yep. Like to see him shorten, or like to see that little half-inch to an inch choking up on the bat. Gives him full control, but still, Skoglund does not want to give him a free pass.
Salvi emphasizes the low target and a strike over the inside corner. So Tom Hallion is official tonight. 2 down in the second inning.
Skoglund, love it. His job is to attack the strike zone. Salvi wanted it down, but it still was in. Love Hallion. Ringing Ervin up, and you got to go.
Now Tucker Barnhart, and that's lifted to center field into the rain, but Goodwin is on it. 3 up, 3 down for Skoglund in the second inning. Brad Keller will join us from the Royals dugout when we come back. look back at Brad Keller's rookie season. 41 games, 20 starts, and that ERA at the moment, 3.08, is the lowest in the major leagues among rookies. With his innings, 140 and a third. He was a success out of the bullpen and finished as a starter, and he's nice enough to stand in the rain and join us here. Well, what does that sound like when I start rattling off all those numbers for your rookie season?
I mean, it's awesome. Honestly, didn't expect anything like that to happen. Just try to come out here, you know, started off in the bullpen, just try to help the team win, and try to take the same mentality in the rotation.
So you partially answered my next question, but what did you hope? If I were to come up to you in spring training last year, and you'd never pitched above Double-A, you're a Rule 5, and I said, hey, Brad, we're going to have you on our broadcast on September 25th. What do you hope we're saying about your season?
Honestly, I didn't have any expectations going into this year. I just try to come in here and learn as much as possible. You know, it's a big jump from Double-A to the big leagues. So just try to come in here and learn and just go out there and execute whatever I learned.
What was that you learned? What was the most important thing this year?
Just to attack hitters. You know, it's still the same game. It's still one-on-one, pitcher versus hitter. So just try not to like fool around with them. Try not to throw too many pitches. Just go right after guys.
Thing that impressed me was a couple of things. One was the ability to let go of the bad, which is important for any player, but especially a young player. And number two, your tempo. For a ground ball pitcher, that's perfect for a defender. Where'd you learn that?
I've always been taught that, you know, like hitter or fielders love it when pitchers work fast. So when I was in rookie ball, my pitching coach was like, he told me that, and I just try to incorporate that, try to bring it all the way up, and it's worked out so far.
Brad, another thing we heard a lot about you and talking to Cal Eldred and talking to Ned Yost, the numbers spoke for themselves, but just asking them, what are some of the things that maybe we don't notice? And they both brought up your aptitude and your ability to process information and take it to the mound. Forget that you're a rookie, just for any kind of a pitcher, the adjustments that you made quickly. Is that how you would describe yourself? Have you always been a fast learner?
Yeah. You know, I always just try to pick up things quickly. You know, especially here, you know, everything happens so fast, everything goes on the fly. So, well, that's...
There's always a chance in this ballpark.
Yeah.
Billy Hamilton back to the track, one down, go ahead.
Yeah, just, you know, things happen super fast around, especially in the big league. So to be able to learn on the fly was big time. And, yeah, I tried to, honestly.
You know, you were good from the very beginning, pitching out of the bullpen and going to the rotation. But in your mind, where's an area where you got better from day one that maybe didn't show itself in the numbers?
I just felt like my stuff kind of got better. My slider got better as the years went on. Me and Cal really were focusing on that. And it kind of, towards the end of the year, strikeouts started coming up a little bit more. But yeah, like, just try to go out there and hone in on all my skills and stuff and try to incorporate into the games.
How did you learn how to deal with failure?
I had a ton of failure last year. You know, you kind of flush it, you know, like Jersh always says, you know, the sun is going to rise the next day, you know, just it's a new day, and don't dwell on the past, because, you know, you got another 24 hours to you know, get back out there.
So on one hand, you know you're going right to the big leagues after the Rule 5 draft. On the other hand, you're leaving an organization with all your friends, and I'm sure in your mind you were visualizing pitching in Phoenix in the big leagues. And so how did you handle that day?
It was tough. I mean, you know, like you said, all my best friends over there, you know, I came up with them. A lot of them are in the big leagues with the Diamondbacks and with other teams. So it's awesome to like see all of them come up too and have their success. But, you know, just, you know, come in here, and it was an opportunity to make new friends, and that's what I try to focus on.
How about you and Victor Reyes, teammates last year in Double-A? You both go in the Rule 5 draft 1-2, and then
yeah.
in a flash you're in the big leagues playing against each other. He's with the Tigers.
Yeah, that was insane. You know, our first away series was against them, so it was great to see him, talk to him a little bit, and then, you know, obviously this past weekend got to see him again. Him and Lugo, they're both with us last year in Double-A, so it was great to see them. You know, they're just awesome guys, awesome players too. So,
well, and so are you. We've had a a lot of fun watching you pitch this year, and you are a first-class gentleman, and we're proud that you're a Royal.
I appreciate it, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Royals go down 1-2-3 in the top of the third.
The 50th season logo hooded sweatshirt giveaway presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors on Saturday. The first 15,000 fans through the gates will receive the sweatshirt before watching the Royals take on the Indians at 6:15. Be sure to stay after the game for fan appreciation fireworks show. It'll be a good one. Ooh.
And it is really coming down right now as Matt Harvey leads off, and Stephen Lord, who is the head groundskeeper, was talking with Tom Hallion in between innings. And I thought I read his lips, and he said it's your call, which would tell me that it's going to be 50-50 right here about whether they want to play through it or put the tarp down for a few moments. That's lifted to center field. And Matt Harvey, who bats 8th tonight, not 9th, flies out. And I think the reason why he said it's your call is while we have some heavy rain at the moment to the west, and it doesn't look very far to the west, it looks like there's a pretty good clearing, pretty good sized window, so that would be the motivation to play through it. And there he is, Stephen Lord, just outside the Reds dugout, standing in the rain like a captain going down with his ship.
Yeah, he's pretty into it. But there's nobody down there by the tarp. None of his buddies are by the tarp. If we were at home, Trevor Vance, and it was serious rain, they'd be all lined up behind that tarp ready to put it on in 2 minutes.
One ball, one strike. And now Tom Hallion says that's enough. And the reason why the grounds crew wasn't behind the tarp is because they were right behind Stephen Lord. So they'll put the tarp on the field, but if the weather radar is correct, this could be a short rain delay. So cover the field, make sure we don't accumulate any puddles on the dirt. This is a newer ballpark, so the grass will drain quickly, and it is very possible that as soon as the grounds crew covers the infield, the rain will stop.
Well, let's hope so, because you want Skoglund to stay in there, and usually it's 30 minutes or so. If it's after 30, then Ned will have to make his judgment. But the next thing you know, I didn't see any groundskeepers, and then they come out, they just poured out like ants on the field. They were ready. Well, obviously we haven't seen this ballpark or them work, but nice job, fellas, getting it on. Men and women. Midwestern grounds crews, they go through the weather, believe it. All kinds of it. Teams in California, Seattle has a roof. They don't have much weather.
What's that thing rolled up on the side wall. That's what their grounds crew says on the West Coast.
Yeah. What's that
That's
for?
called the tarp. And they use this in other regions of the country in case it rains.
Almost every day, almost.
So
There it
they did
is.
a nice job of getting the tarp on.
Less than 5 minutes. Got him. Good hustle.
So we will take a break with 1 out in the bottom of the third, and the Royals leading in Cincinnati 1-0. The bottom of the third, and there is Brian Flynn. And Joel and Monty talked about him going up and warming up. So the Royals will not bring back Eric Skoglund. And that is Matt Harvey. So he's warming up. That'll be a long delay for him, as his team is batting in the bottom of the third inning with 1 out. So it would have been a long delay for Skoglund, but even longer for Harvey.
Yeah, well, Jim Riggleman in his meeting today was talking about how Harvey has 150 innings coming into this start, and that this would most likely be his last one. So I think he probably left it up to him. He's in his 7th year now. Talked about that before, how sometimes a manager will give a little bit more rope to a veteran guy. Harvey said, hey, look, I'm ready to go. It's my last one of the year. I want to finish strong.
The delay began at about 7:25 Eastern time. So if we begin at 8:15 here, that'll be a 50-minute delay with the Royals on the field, not the Reds on the field. So that's going to be at least an hour delay for Matt Harvey.
Check out Riggleman. Do you see the pipes on him? 65 years old. That manager, he's done a good job filling in since early April when they fired Brian Price. This guy, he's a solid guy. He's not done with baseball. He'd like to continue to manage, but I'm sure they'll have to go through the interview process. But he's in his 45th season in professional baseball and 23rd as a manager. He's got a lot of experience, and he's a very good communicator.
And like the Royals, the Reds have played better after a very poor start. But that's not the feeling here. I mean, the feeling in Kansas City is that it's been a disappointing season because of the record. But then there's the big picture, and the Royals have gotten younger. We mentioned at the top of the show, the Royals were 41 games below 500 at the All-Star break, 7 games under since the All-Star breaks. They played much better in the second half. But the Reds, this is their 4th consecutive season finishing in last place with 90 or more losses. So they have a better record than the Royals, but the mood is a lot like the weather here compared to Kansas City.
Oh, no question. And you know, he talked in his meeting about the long innings, pitching changes they can wear on you, the 4 years of losing for these veteran guys. They've had it. You could tell they're beat up, and it shows. So look, he's one thing Riggleman talked about, it's very important, is he doesn't believe in being tired. Even this time of year, forget it. It's a mental thing you can overcome, but he don't buy it. Got the whole off season to rest up. He's looking for a strong finish from his team, as well as Ned is. But Ned has a whole lot more energy to work with. That's an important commodity to have, especially this time of the year.
Reds have also made a change at general manager this year. President Dick Williams was also the GM. He relinquished the GM role. Nick Krall, K-R-A-L-L, who was a bat boy for the Oakland A's during the Moneyball years. Doesn't seem that long ago. And he's a general manager, and here come the Royals. And the forecast is good. They're really not calling for any more rain until about 2 a.m. So it'll be a rain delay of a little under an hour, but we should be fine. And as we like to say, when the games start early, it's a good thing we started at 6:40.
That's right. And so Flynn to win is towing the slab. Hope he can keep this lead, continue to do what he does, and that is pitch to contact. Now the overall opponent average 299, and it's just about the same from righties and lefties. They're all hitting about 290 or better, but he doesn't care. He wants to have him hit the ball to the good defense behind him and keep moving on in this now his 47th game. It's a ground ball machine. Rolls up a lot of double plays.
Cleanly shaven, Brian Flynn. So Eric Skoglund goes 2 1/3. He gives up 1 hit, and he had 1 strikeout. And Flynn will pitch to Billy Hamilton, who is hitting 9th. So Jim Riggleman bats his pitcher 8th tonight, Matt Harvey, and then Billy Hamilton, who's a leadoff type hitter. You bat him 9th, like a lot of American League teams do, a second leadoff type guy. So you have Hamilton and Schebler back to back before you start getting into the middle of the order. And he can fly. Billy Hamilton has had 50 or more stolen bases in 4 straight seasons. He has never won a stolen base title, which is interesting because he has the most stolen bases in the major league since his first big league game.
Yeah, that is unusual. And here Witt is winning one last year, now on his way to winning a second one here. Interesting, but Hamilton, man, can he play some center field. I'll never forget the series, the 2-game series that they had at the K, the 12th and 13th of June in Hamilton. We hit the ball. He made some 4 or 5-star catches out there. He probably in that 2-game series caught 5 or 6 really impressive balls by the routes he took. Solid center fielder. He's only aired twice too, as a matter of fact. In this is his 146th game.
Sorry, Hud. It's a 51-minute rain delay. Little check swing. And Flynn turns quickly and gets it over to O'Hearn, and that's out number 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. And now Scott Schebler, Reds leadoff man, grounded out to O'Hearn in the 1st inning. And he pops it up. O'Hearn has plenty of room, and that's the inning. Took almost an hour to get through the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Thanks for coming.
3 up, 3 down.
It's beautiful. It's time to celebrate you at the K. Come out for Fan Appreciation Night this Saturday for a night filled with fun activities and giveaways, including a fireworks spectacular presented by Popsicle and Price Chopper after the game. First 15,000 fans through the gates will receive a 50th season logo hooded sweatshirt, courtesy of Academy Sports and Outdoors. Head to Royals.com to buy your tickets. Want to see you there.
Salvador Perez also led off the 2nd inning against Matt Harvey and singled. And then Brian Goodwin got him home with an infield base hit. And another base hit into center field, leading off an inning. And that was 58 minutes in between pitches for Matt Harvey.
Mo Lottery replay will show you Salvador Perez. It was the same identical hit that he had the first time up. Perfect spot where there ain't anybody standing.
So if the pattern continues, Ryan O'Hearn is going to hit a double. Fastball over the inside. O'Hearn bounced it over the wall in right center field in the second inning. That put runners at second and third and nobody out. And then Dozier grounded out with no advance. And then it was Goodwin's infield single that got the Royals run home. High and deep to right field. Irvin is back, and it's just over his glove for a 2-run home run, which is better than a double.
Way better. Nice job. O'Hearn, that was sweet. Before the game, Jim Riggleman mentioned O'Hearn by name. Didn't even know him because O'Hearn wasn't there when the Reds came to the K on the 12th and 13th of June. But he knew all about him because the young man continues to tear the cover off the ball, hitting it over the fence. An outstanding swing, and that'll register a 2-run homer. He'll take it. O'Hearn, 12th homer. Measuring up, we were holding our breath. Nice try. Boy, that was a good try. Phillip Irvin almost snagged it.
Fastball strike to Hunter Dozier. So Ryan O'Hearn just adds to his impressive numbers. 12 home runs, 29 RBIs in 40 games.
Got a bus driver, no question about it.
Oh, 2 on Dozier. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ryan O'Hearn at the moment has a major league record slugging percentage for his plate appearances. It's not a full season, but coming into tonight, his slugging percentage was .612, which is the highest in Major League history, with 145 or more plate appearances, and he's added to that tonight with a double and a home run. The overall rookie slugging percentage record is held by Ted Williams, who had a .609 in 675 plate appearances back in 1939.
Man, that's a lot.
Shallow right field. Votto is out and makes the play out of bounds, but 1 out.
Exit velo over 103. 42-degree launch angle means that was launched high, and it went far enough. 355. He'll take it, even if it did scrape the back of the wall. Tomorrow, it's a home run in the books. And it is today too. Good for him. Keep it up. He's a threat in this ballpark. He might hit 3 more between tonight and tomorrow.
Brian Goodwin did a nice job in the second inning with 2 strikes, and he put the ball in play and was able to get Salvador Perez down from third with an infield single. One ball, 1 strike. Royals have scored 2 more runs tonight than they did in the 2-game series against the Reds back in June. Reds came to Kauffman Stadium in the middle of June and swept a 2-game series and outscored the Royals 12-1.
Yeah, that's back in June when we were barely scoring 2 runs a game and we couldn't get a hit with a runner in scoring position. And Hamilton in center field single-handedly robbed a lot of those runs, potential runs.
3 balls, 2 strikes. That's line to right field and right at Irvin. 2 outs in the 4th inning. And here's Brett Phillips. Harvey struck him out swinging at a fastball in the 2nd inning. That home run, by the way, when you start looking at reasons why Matt Harvey has not pitched well this year, that was the 27th home run he's given up in a little over 150 innings. Oh and 1.
Saw 7 pitches in his last at bat, fouled a lot off just like that. Wants to square one up this time.
Missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's one of the things Brett Phillips is going to have to work on in the offseason, and that is set that machine on about 95 up in the zone and learn how to take that pitch. You know, that one's in the zone, but they've been getting him to swing at high fastballs his whole time he's been here, and he's going to have to discipline himself to stay off of that. Even the most veteran hitters can't hit that. Bring it down a little bit, then have him set the 95 down in the wheelhouse and start hitting it back up the middle.
That's the inning. Harvey has struck out 5. Salvador Perez singles. Ryan O'Hearn hits a 2-run home run, and the Royals lead 3-0. Ryan O'Hearn's 2-run home run gives the Royals a 3-0 lead. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com/saves to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. Ryan Flynn, after the 51-minute rain delay, came on in relief of Skoglund in the 3rd. Skoglund got the first out of the bottom of the 3rd inning before the rain, and then Flynn came on and got the final 2 outs, and now he'll get Peraza, Votto, and Suarez. And Skoglund and Flynn have retired 9 of the first 10 Reds hitters tonight. And Brian Flynn's going to get an at-bat next half inning.
Good for him. They always love, that's the highlight of their season. American League pitchers get to swing the bat.
Jose Peraza flied out to right field in the 1st inning. Low ball 1. Peraza is working on one of the best seasons as a Red shortstop as far as hits go, with 177. Only Barry Larkin, Hall of Famer, has more. 185, the year that the Reds won the World Series. A bounce off the bag, and Hunter Dozier throws out Peraza. The ball was getting ready to roll away from him, and it hit third base.
Dozier was telling me before the game when I asked him, hey, what's more comfortable for you, first base or third? He says third base, no problem. Look at him stay with that hop right there. And he got a little luck and kicked back to him, but he's able to get a speedy runner in Peraza. That's a heck of a play right there. Peraza's saying, rats, you know, that hits the bag and goes another direction. I got a base hit, and there's no hit there either.
Votto lines to left. He has the only hit for the Reds so far, and Brian Flynn has 2 quick outs.
Let's take another look at this now. Watch him stay with the hop. That's what's important. He's able to knock it down. That goes over a lot of third baseman's glove, but he's able to recover, pick it up with his bare hand, get the out in time.
And now Eugenio Suarez, Reds third baseman, and he grounded out to Dozier his first time up. One ball, one strike. When he batted in the first inning, we were talking about the 16 games that he missed in April with a fractured thumb, and yet still among the league leaders in the categories where you want your number 4 hitter. 5th in RBIs, 9th in home runs, tied for 9th in slugging percentage.
You know, he's got that classic stance you see a lot now of hitters that stand straight up. There's no bend in their knees at all. And then they have that flamingo leg kick where they load their hips and then try to hit for power. And he does a good job of that. See how he just hit standing straight as a string.
Mondesi charges, throws in time. So Flynn, pitching with a 3-0 lead, has an 8-pitch bottom of the 4th, and he will lead off the 5th. Kansas City is brought to you by Dodge. Hurry to your Dodge dealer today and clean up big with great deals during the Dodge Fall Cleanup event. Brian Flynn spent some time in the National League with the Marlins, is 2 out of 7 as a hitter. He is an imposing figure at the plate,
I'll say. Took one right down the middle.
hit sharply on the ground out to Jeanette. And there's one away in the 5th inning. Hey, he made contact.
And I think, you know, that exit velo could be up around 100 maybe.
And he'll remind those guys, hey, I've had some at-bats before.
102 exit velo.
There you go.
How about you? That's a little bragging rights if you can't get a hit.
Witt has fouled out to the catcher and flied to center. And there's a base hit. So that's a 15-game hitting streak for Whit Merrifield. He is on with 1 out.
Yeah, you know what? That 93, it's like he knew it was coming. How many times have we seen that?
Witt came into tonight with a 2-hit lead and a 2 stolen base lead in the American League. And now he'll look over at third base coach Mike Jershely as Adalberto Mondesi digs in. Remember, if the Royals hit a triple in tonight's game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the KC Urban Youth Academy. That is Amir Garrett warming up in the Reds bullpen. And Danny Darwin, who is the interim pitching coach, is out to have a chat with Harvey. Mondesi has struck out twice. In the first inning, he was down in the count 1-2, and he showed bunt and took a called third strike. And then Harvey got him swinging in the third. And we, just like the Reds, will be keeping a close eye on Merrifield at first base. And Harvey throws over there.
Base stealers this year off of Harvey have been successful 5 out of 8 times. Tucker Barnhart's thrown out 20%, 13 for 66.
Now that's sounds like a high percentage, 5 out of 8, but that's only 8 attempts. And this is his 28th start of the year, so he obviously does a good job of preventing the runners from even trying to run on him.
He's got quick feet, and that's going to prevent a good jump, and that's one thing that Witt counts on, especially from first base. First base, it's important to get that jump because it's harder to steal second than it is third. Watch it now. He's going to anticipate. He's going to say, all right, I know because I timed you. Watch this. Look at it. He's leaving before the pitcher even gets that foot off the base. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want to do. That's what gets him the steals and his success rate.
So it's not just the speed.
No, it's all about the jump. Now from second base, it's a totally different ball game. You can get another 2 feet lead, and then he likes to walk into third base. That's why he's been so successful going to third. Rarely throw him out.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. I remember when I was a kid and Ricky Henderson was stealing all those bases, and a player had been called up. It was a National League player, and I don't remember who it was, but they were talking about this guy is probably the fastest guy in the game, and there goes Witt, and no chance. So without a throw, Witt steals his 39th to add to his league lead, and now he's in scoring position for Mondesi. So anyway, they said this guy's probably the fastest guy in the league, and there you go again, Hud. He anticipated it perfectly, and I remember as a kid I was like, well, Ricky Henderson has to be the fastest guy in the league, right? He leads the league in stolen bases, and I remember someone said he's not even in the top 5. I mean, he's fast. but he did a lot of what Witt just did. His stealing IQ, his ability to read a pitcher, his jumps were the best in baseball.
Yeah, and that's extremely important. We showed you at first base, and then Witt just did it against Harvey. Now the ball was hit Mondesi to the shortstop and to Witt's left, so he was able to advance and go to third base there, or else we would have showed you how he gets a jump stealing third.
Alex has grounded out to first on a nice play by Votto, and he is lined to center field, so he's hit the ball hard twice against Matt Harvey. One and 0. Alex has driven in 9 in his last 8 games. One and 1.
Alex has barreled both swings tonight in his hits. He's two to prove his plate appearances hard. No, just unlucky. Hard to the first baseman, lined out to the center fielder.
Two balls, one strike. Alex has the Royals record for home runs in interleague play, 24. Just foul. Votto grabs it with his bare hand. 2-2.
Harvey has just 2 wild pitches, so I don't anticipate he'll bounce anything to let Witt score, but Alex Gordon, he can pick him up. Alex has really picked up his runners in scoring position average, now all the way up to 294. Find a hole.
Fastball up. That's Harvey's 6th strikeout, and the Royals strand Witt at third base. 3-0 KC. Home run as the Reds come up in the bottom of the 5th inning. There's Monty. Hi, Monty. Monty was the Reds' 9th round pick in the 1983 draft. Name the first and second overall picks from that draft who both went on to play for the Royals and were teammates of yours eventually, right, Monty?
Huh. Do you know, Monty? Ding, ding, ding.
So it's easy to forget that we have the Reds to thank for Jeff Montgomery, who grew up not far from here, a Reds fan, a Pete Rose fan, and that was his manager when he got to the big leagues. Scooter Gennett popped out to short in the 2nd inning. That was against Skoglund. And now he's down to the count 0-2. 1983, first overall pick. Now, I think I know who the first overall pick was. And if memory serves, it was Tim Belcher, who I think wasn't he the first overall pick and turned it down and then got drafted again?
1-1. I remember. It's a good guess. I don't have a clue.
Run it up there.
I was in between A-ball and AA trying to just survive, and Monty's a big leaguer. It's beautiful. Yeah, run him up there.
Tim Belcher.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, now Twins did not sign. First overall pick did not sign.
Look at that placement. Right in Alice's glove. So he blew the Twins off.
He did.
Okay, then who didn't somebody get him the next round or the next time? Then Reds. Who is the other a position player? Okay.
Well, he came up with the Dodgers, didn't he? I remember him in the '88 World Series. Tim Belcher. All right, 2nd overall pick, who became a Royal. 83. Line foul to the netting in front of the Reds dugout. Irvin was a little tardy on that swing.
They had a trivia question up on the board here in Cincinnati. It had 4 pitchers' names, and which one of them did not pitch for the Royals? Tom Browning was one of them. The one who didn't pitch for the Royals was Randy Myers. The other one, if I can remember, was a few innings ago.
So you thinking it might be one of those guys?
No. I'm thinking it could be one of those guys that were on that question.
That's what I just said.
Okay, well then. Did Tom Browning pitch for? He pitched for the Royals at what time though? I don't know.
For me.
Okay.
I don't remember him with the Royals.
Was it Tom Browning?
Strike 1. Now, Holtze told me that Tim Belcher went to the Yankees the next year. And remember the January draft?
Winter draft.
Yep. Grounded into center field. Phillip Ervin has just the 2nd hit for the Reds. They've really scuffled offensively lately. He's on with 1 out. Isn't that called the supplemental draft in January?
Yeah, winter draft.
And then Holtze says that he went to the A's as a compensation pick and was traded to the Dodgers. So there you have it.
Had a great career.
Tim Belcher.
No matter who he pitched with.
Well, it was a bad team in '82. To be getting the 2nd overall pick in '83. 2 balls and no strikes on Barnhart. That's Dilson Herrera. He'll bat for Matt Harvey. 2-1. Thinking of two guys, and I don't know anything about the draft back then, but I'm thinking about two guys, and I think in that era that went from high school right to the big leagues. Two and two. David Clyde. Remember David Clyde?
Yeah. Texas Rangers rings a bell with
Okay.
him.
And Mike Moore.
Mike Moore, he was a guy that went right to the show. I think it was Oakland that took him.
Yep. I have no idea if that's the right era, but that is not the answer to our question because neither were Royals. That's the first strikeout for Flynn. And they're 2 down in the 5th inning.
Yep. Barnhart got to go. Out.
Well, let's see. Tim Belcher came to the Royals in the mid-90s, mid to late 90s. So who would have been Royals in that era that also I have no idea.
I don't either.
You ready for a hint? I have no.
Always, always.
Okay, this guy made 1 All-Star appearance, and it was with the Royals in his first year with the Royals.
It's not helping.
He was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds. What about Hal Morris? Went to the University of Michigan.
Might be about his time.
Okay.
Okay, that helps. He was not a pitcher.
Not a pitcher.
Okay.
Hal Morris had 1 good year with the Royals. That's well hit. Deep right field. And Dilson Herrera comes off the bench and hits a 2-run pinch hit home run. And it is 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Where did that come from? That was a shot. That's his 3rd pinch hit home run of the season. Man, it's a way to bring some life to the Reds. Wow, out of nowhere. It goes opposite field. That's a center cut 91-mile-an-hour fastball he was ready for. Perfect swing.
Look at this catch.
Had it all the way. How about that, young son? Oh, maybe that's his wife. Hey, look at that.
And now ball 1 to Billy Hamilton. He was the first man to face Flynn after the rain delay, and he grounded back to Bryan. You like Hal Morris?
Yeah, I like Hal Morris. He was a good ball player.
Hal Morris. Strike 2. A non-pitcher.
All-star.
All-star in his first year with the Royals. Taken by the Reds in He was an all-star with the Royals in 1988. Okay, so this goes back a while. Right field again. And Phillips is there, and that's the inning. So the Reds are back in it on the Dilson Herrera pinch hit 2-run home run. 3-2 Royals at the end of 5. Ryan O'Hearn, who has homered, and Hunter Dozier in our Sonic Slam inning. And our contestant tonight is Lucinda Jones from Kansas City, Kansas. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Lucinda wins $1,100. And if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Lucinda wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. And Amir Garrett is a Chevy call to the bullpen. The Royals scored 3 runs in 5 innings against Matt Harvey, who had 58 minutes in between pitches during the rain delay.
Oh, you know what? You got to respect the fact that he wanted to finish the season strong and go out and compete, and he did. Amir Garrett, low to mid 90s, maybe a tick above with his fastball, slider change.
Salvi already has 2 singles up the middle. I don't know how that's going to be scored. It's probably going to be an error, but he went back through the middle again, and it is an error on Peraza. But Salvador Perez has been a leadoff man 3 times tonight, and he's reached all 3 times.
Peraza's 21st error, just couldn't find the handle. Good try. The recovery would have gotten him had he had an accurate throw. You know, Peraza, Riggleman was telling me before the game, his manager, that he gets upset when Riggleman sits him. He doesn't like it. He's one of those. He's like Salvador Perez. You know, when Ned benches him, he doesn't like it. He said, I get some looks. I get some pouting. He wants to play every game, and you got to admire that. His 153rd game is Peraza.
And there they are, counseling each other on how to get through the days when they're not in the lineup.
That's right.
Ryan O'Hearn is out for the first time tonight. He doubled and homered in his first 2 at-bats. And now it's Garrett and Hunter Dozier.
That's a productive out. See if he can get him in.
Hunter is grounded out and popped out tonight. right field. Irvin backs up, makes the catch. Salvi tags, and Irvin makes a long throw to third and made it close. And Salvi looks out to right field like, what was that?
Well, they said that Phillip Irvin is a 5-tool guy, and arm strength is one of those tools. So he's going to go back on the ball here. Watch him. Salvi goes, I can make this. Right before the warning track, he loads and he fires. Ooh, man. And then Suarez did a nice job at third base because the runner can't see the fielder going to field the ball, stands there like nothing's happening, and then they kind of, that's a deke. He catches it and put the tag on you. I've seen that work.
That was the Bob Boone play on Bo Jackson's great throw in Seattle, fooling Harold Reynolds by standing there as if no throw was coming.
Right.
I think Rusty Kuntz and Mitch Meyer, watching the outfield play there, may have preferred Irvin to get back a few more steps and be coming through the ball when he made the catch. Kind of caught it flat-footed. I don't know if he would have gotten Salvi.
That's a good throw. He'll work on that. He'll work on it. Be precise. Always got something to work on. And he's young.
2-1 on Goodwin. He has an infield RBI single, and he is lined out to right. Out into left center field, and Schebler is there, and that's the inning. So the error does not turn into a run. To the bottom of the 6th, the Royals lead by 1. By T-Mobile.
Dozier saying, hey, look, you know what? Don't try me, because I'll get you. Look at that. Even the bounce. Little glove, back to the shovel, back to the bare hand. That's important. Watch it. Now he's able to get that out any way he can. Getting it done in the hot corner.
Tim Hill makes it 3 lefties in a row for the Royals tonight. Eric Skoglund went 2 1/3, and then he came out after the rain delay. Brian Flynn 2 2/3, and Hill will get the top of the order in the 6th.
Sinker, slider, change up. Going to kind of keep that ball down. Use the deceptive delivery. He's been impressive all year. I mean, you know, as a young guy, didn't have a lot of experience. Now he seems like he's a experienced, seasoned veteran. He's doing the job. ERA a little bit high, but
and he gets a first pitch ground ball out to Witt. So Schebler is out. He's 0 for 3.
Parents and grandparents, the perfect gift for your young Royals fan is now 50% off. Purchase the 2018 Sluggers Blue Crew box for just $15. Membership includes a jersey, flat bill cap, drawstring bag, 2 compression sleeves, 2 ticket vouchers, and much more. Purchase your discounted membership now at the stadium or online at royals.com/Blue Crew. Cool socks. Or maybe those are the compression sleeves.
Any thoughts on our trivia question? Two outs in the inning, 1 out for us. Jeff Montgomery was the Reds' 9th round pick in the '83 draft, named the 1st and 2nd overall picks from that draft, who went on to play for the Royals and were Monty's teammates. We have identified Tim Belcher and misidentified 2 others. And if you hear barking in the background, it is Bark in the Park, not to be confused Bark at the Park, Kauffman Stadium. Here it is Bark in the Park, and that's exactly what's going on. Kansas City dogs know how to be quiet while the game is being played. Another hint. He was with the Royals from '88 to '91. He was drafted in '83, made it to the big leagues in '86. Was with the Royals '88 to '91. He was an all-star his first year in '88.
And do we know if he's an outfielder or infielder? He's an infielder?
Infielder. So let's see. I think George was over at first base by then. So you got Frank and George on the right side, a shortstop or a third baseman. Another hint. It was a shortstop.
Kurt Stillwell.
Nice. That's who it is.
Ding, 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 ding.
That away, Hud.
Well, we got enough
Kurt
hints.
Stillwell.
What? That's all I needed to know.
Yeah.
He was a good player.
Yep.
I
And
liked him. He was steady. He could hit. And I knew he was a Red.
And I believe Kurt Stillwell was used to get Jermaine Dye. I think Kurt Stillwell and Michael Tucker went to the Braves to get Jermaine Dye.
Hey, Votto, you got to go. 1, 2, 3 inning for Hill. Nice job.
Dodge drives of the game.
Oh, he jumped all over that one. Some kind of hang time. Just scraped the back of the wall for his 12th on the season. And then Herrera off the bench. man, is this kid valuable when you hit your 3rd pinch hit home run of the year? Wow, that's pretty impressive. Here we are, holding on.
I got my Kurt Stillwell and my Keith Lockhart confused. Similar
Keith
players,
Lockhart.
but it was Keith Lockhart and Michael Tucker who went to the Braves for Jermaine Dye.
Okay, he's a good ball player. Remember Lockhart?
So it's Phillips, the pitcher spot, and then Merrifield against Amir Garrett, who took over in the 6th. And Jorge Bonifacio will bat for Tim Hill. Two balls, one strike.
Isn't Garrett the basketball player? I know one of these guys here. 6'5", 230, 26 years old. Had a good live arm.
He played basketball at St. John's.
Yeah, I thought he was.
And then Cal State Northridge.
Wow.
After signing with the Reds. So he signed out of high school and was still a college basketball player. He was ineligible to play college baseball because he was a professional. He is from Las Vegas, where he played with and against Bryce Harper and Joey Gallo in high school. And Brett is down on strikes. That is his 3rd strikeout in the 1st tonight for Amir Garrett.
Folks, save the date for the Royals Annual Fan Fest on Friday, January 25th. That's the 25th and Saturday the 26th. Presented by Commerce Bank. Take a break from the cold weather. Enjoy autograph sessions, interactive games, and player interviews at the Kansas City Convention Center. Youth tickets are just $5. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit royals.com/fanfest. Be there.
Brandon Maurer will get the bottom of the 7th inning with the 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up. Bonifacio was just 1 for 11 in the Detroit series. That one hit was a 3-run home run in the 1st inning of the 1st game. That slugfest in game 1. The combined 7 home runs.
First pitch Bonifacio swung at was an off-speed pitch, but that got him in the game. No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Dan Bellino is the first base umpire.
Toughest job in baseball for a position player is to come off the bench cold and try to get a hit off a guy who throws 97 with a nasty slider.
That was not a swing. The hands broke, but according to the rules, he was not attempting to strike the baseball.
Yep.
Some umpires that are opposite the hitter, so in this case, the first base umpire with a right-hand batter, some will use the front plane of home plate. Some will use the first base line as a committed swing. But if the hitter is trying to get out of the way and he crosses the plane, that is not attempting to strike the baseball. 96 miles an hour.
Low part of the zone. Barnhart doing a nice job holding it right there for Tom Hallion, home plate umpire. Look at him trying to hold that baby up there to get the call. Bonifacio gonna get him here. He's wanting another heater. Barnhart wants him to shake once or twice, Garrett, so he can try to fool him.
Two strikeouts for Garrett in the 7th inning.
That's 3 above average pitches from Garrett. Makes it tough on a hitter. First time he's thrown the changeup to him in this whole at bat. Coming out of that arm speed is that fastball. Makes Garrett a really tough pitcher to hit.
So 2 down to Witt, who's 1 for 3 with a stolen base. His next stolen base will give him 40, and that'll give him a different version of a 40-40 season. 40 stolen bases and 40 doubles. And that'll make him just the 5th American leaguer since 2000 with a 40 double, 40 stolen base season.
Rare. That happens rarely. Solid season. Keep it up. Not done. See if he can turn on it. Or go the other way.
Some good plays in the crowd tonight.
Witt, 356 average versus left-handed pitching. Amir Garrett was as good a left-hander as they've seen out of the pen.
2-2.
This is the first time Witt has ever faced Garrett. Compete.
Three balls, 2 strikes.
Take your 60th walk if you can get it. You would think Garrett would challenge him here. 2 outs, 3-2 count, nobody on base. Got 96 plus, 97. That's above average.
Drilled to left field, into the corner, and foul. Out in front and hooking.
Pull the string on him. Huh.
Let's check in where he made contact with that pitch.
But it was off the end of the bat. Pull the string, he was ahead of it. He was looking heater. He stayed on it. That's a compliment to Witt. See, he can see it. Fastball. He's holding 4-seam fastball behind his back.
And he will take the walk with 2 outs. And now Adalberto Mondesi, and as we approach the end of the regular season and start talking playoffs, we've been updating injured players who could be a factor in the playoffs. Here's the Yankees shortstop Didi Gregorius in our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. We showed you the highlight a few nights ago when he slid in at home plate head first to clinch a wild card spot for the Yankees. He wrecked his right wrist. He tore some cartilage in his right wrist, and there was some fear that he was going to be done for the year. And now he's optimistic he can come back. Peraza flips over to Jeanette, and that ends the Royals' half of the 7th inning. Mondesi is 0 for 4. Stretch time in Cincinnati. The Royals lead by 1. Perhaps the most impressive was Eric Skoglund in our Pizza Ranch for the win pitching line. He went 2 1/3 and gave up 1 hit, no walks, 1 strikeout. There he was pitching in the rain, and he got 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd, and then Tom Hallion called for the tarp, which resulted in a 51-minute rain delay. Skoglund did not come back out. The Royals have used Brian Flynn for 2 2/3, Tim Hill for 1, and now Brandon Maurer will get the bottom of the 7th inning.
All right, let's see. Maurer in his 37th game. Numbers are coming down little by little as he's gotten a lot better with his command. His slider is his main pitch now. Fastball's 98. And he's got an effective changeup when he keeps her down, just like all pitchers.
Suarez is grounded to 3rd and grounded to short.
Guarantee you Suarez looking for that fastball.
Well located. Good slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You and I, along with the Royals, have been trying to unlock the Brandon Maurer secret, where a guy throws 95 to 99 with a knee buckling slider. And what's the next step for him to take that stuff and have it translate into better numbers that he's had? You and I have discussed maybe just pitching out of the stretch exclusively and going to his 2 best pitches. He might be one of the rare guys, watching him, Hud, and he's a high energy guy. He might be one of the guys where you say maybe he could slow down his tempo. You know, we're always talking about guys picking up the tempo.
Yeah, he's a fast twitch, hyper type body language guy. I agree. But Ned and Cal were encouraging him to use the slider more. He has been. Here it comes again.
And he had Suarez fooled badly. So a good start for Brandon. 1 down in the 7th inning.
So when a hitter in the book, the hitting coach's book, they see a guy throws 98, 97, they're going to look for that because that's an above average pitch. So when you're looking for that, even after a couple of sliders, the hitter keeps thinking, all right, I know he's going to come with the straight one, and you set on it, and then he throws you the slider. You look like that. He was guessing.
Scooter Gennett is 0 for 2. No balls, 1 strike.
It's 4 sliders in a row.
Brandon came up in the Mariners organization as a starter. So it probably has something to do with him still feeling comfortable pitching out of the windup and using all 3 of his pitches. Another good breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's always been very intense, and he would get sick to his stomach before every start. He had to learn how to do breathing exercises in between innings just to stay calm. That's a fair ball inside the line, and it's going to roll deep. And it does not take a good bounce for Phillips, and Scooter Gennett is going to end up at 3rd base with 1 out. It's a real tricky corner in right, and I don't know if there's a perfect way to play it, but there's a chance for it to hit about 3 different parts of the wall down there, and that's exactly what happened.
Then it hit where the grass meets the dirt. Now, keeping his hands in, that was a nice job. He could have pulled that foul. A lot of guys would have got the barrel there, but he was able to keep his hands in inside that baseball. Watch it now. It's going to kick 1 more time, and it's going to hit the grass. And it's going to cause a problem for Phillips.
1 bounce, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot going on there. And now the Royals bring the infield in for Phillip Ervin, and he takes a fastball low. Ervin singled with 1 out in the 5th inning and scored on Herrera's pinch hit 2-run home run. Grounded foul. That's a good thing because he almost got it over the bag for extra bases. O'Hearn was, even though the ball wasn't hit very hard, Ryan was far enough off the line where that was going to be trouble.
Like third base coach Billy Hatcher has him going on contact. We'll see.
Grounded into left field to tie the game.
Now, Jeanette, he saw that through. He wasn't coming on contact. Slider stayed up for him. Now he's been throwing a lot of them, so that Irvin was on deck when he threw all those sliders to Suarez, so he's able to put that in the back of his mind, saying, I'm going to get that.
And now the switch hitter Tucker Barnhart will slide over to the left side. He is 0 for 2 tonight. In the dirt for ball 1. When the Reds took 2 games from the Royals back in June, Tucker Barnhart had a big hit. He had a game-tying home run in the 9th inning. Irvin just got a huge jump. He goes in standing without a throw. It's 1 ball, 1 strike on Barnhart.
Yeah, you're not going to pay attention to him. He's going to go. Bauer, former closer. They don't pay too much attention to the base runners because they believe that their focus is the hitter.
Two and two. Struck him out. So a strikeout, a triple, a single, and now another strikeout. 2 down.
Staying with it, that's where he likes it to finish. Irvin, he hit one that was hittable around knee high, a little bit above the knee.
Mason Williams is going to pinch hit.
Put him on.
In the pitcher spot for Amir Garrett. And nice knowing you.
Yep.
He'll go down with the no pitch intentional walk. Interesting. Now Hamilton's hitting .232, but he's got a couple of at-bats tonight as opposed to a guy that's been sitting all night and coming off the bench cold. Strike to Hamilton. He is grounded back to the mound and flied to right. Well, he's thrown some really good sliders. He's gotten a couple of strikeouts on sliders. He's gotten quite a few swings and misses on sliders, but the base hit that tied the game was a hanging slider to Phillip Ervin. So that was the matchup the Royals wanted. It worked out. Mauer strikes out the side, and the Reds tie the game. moment.
Scooter Gannett, he went after it. It was a nice swing. Kept it inside. Oh, excuse me, Jeanette. Hit it right down that line. Got 3 bags out of it. Irvin comes up and finds the hole in between the third baseman and shortstop, and there it is. Tied it up.
Right-hander David Hernandez will get the 8th inning. He is on for the 54th time this year. It's a pretty good strikeout to walk ratio. 60 strikeouts against 17 walks in 60 innings.
Yep, opponent's not doing much off him. 205. He's got a mid-90s fastball. A little two-seam. Four-seamer. Cutter. Slider.
Alex had a good rip. Alex is grounded to first, lined to center, and struck out. That'll be out of play. 0-2. Royals had a 3-0 lead when Ryan O'Hearn hit a 2-run home run back in the 4th inning. And then Dilson Herrera, as a pinch hitter, hit a 2-run home run in the 5th. And now Irvin tied the game in the bottom of the 7th. That's a called 3rd strike, and there's 1 down in the 8th inning.
MLB At Bat is your #1 Royals app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Royals home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Righty Iglesias and Peralta out there. I was laughing because it was one of those at bats where Salvi decided to take one, and it was right down the middle. Fastball. Hamilton comes over from center and nearly collides with Irvin. 2 outs. That'll bring up Ryan O'Hearn, who doubled in his first at bat, and then he gave the Royals a 3-0 lead with this 2-run home run in the 4th.
Harvey hanging breaking ball looked like to me. Just spun right there, belt high, and he took advantage of it. Good, solid, easy swing. He can do it again and carry him.
Well, he did fine in his first at bat with the double, but coincidence or not, Ryan O'Hearn has been incredible this year in his second at bat, which was a home run tonight. He is a .500 hitter this year in his second at bat with a slugging percentage over 1,000.
Well, Hernandez, he's been equally tough against both right-handers and left-handers. Righties hit .205 with 3 homers. Lefties .206 with 3 homers. That's some consistency there.
Ooh. That would remind you of Ned Yost's best bullpens, where he didn't really worry about matchups because Hochevar, Madsen, Herrera, Davis, Holland could get righties and lefties out.
Exactly.
Three and 2. Hunter Dozier is on deck.
Heater away. Take him that way. Ooh. Good swing. Right idea. They're sitting up out there, and he missed. Man, he missed by 4 or 5 inches. 328 down the left field line.
Standing over, Hernandez gets the job done. 3 up, 3 down with 2 strikeouts. It's brought to you by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. A 3-3 tie to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Reds won the first 2 in Kansas City back in the middle of June. Here's our Pepsi fan of the game. That guy's sweating it out.
No, he just killed that whole thing full of ice cream.
So that was?
Yeah.
Is that one of those helmet Sundays? Okay.
Exactly. He's a souvenir to take home now. Collect them.
Kevin McCarthy will get the top of the order in the 8th inning. He is the 5th Royals pitcher tonight, following Mauer, Hill, Flynn, and Skoglund.
Done a nice job. 62nd appearance. Not a strikeout pitcher, more of a contact. Sinker, slider, curve change. Humid evening. You'll watch McCarthy when he gets his glove up there. Look at his elbow stick straight out towards center field. It looks unusual, but he does that for a reason. He told me it gets him on top of his slider. He really wants to get on top. That's a little physical thing he does. Remind him, because he wants the slider to break down.
3-0 on Schebler. He is 0 for 3. He is a Reds leadoff man tonight. And this is the 3rd time he has led off an inning. Schebler, Peraza, Votto. That's a 4-pitch walk. And it's just the 2nd walk given up by a Royals pitcher tonight. Well, we talked quite a bit about this during the pregame show and during the rain delay. You can donate to Royals charities for an autograph opportunity at our Gloves for Kids event that's coming up Saturday at the Urban Youth Academy, which is not far from Kauffman Stadium, 11 a.m. to noon. And your $25 donation to get autographs will buy a glove. That is bunted foul. One thing I did not point out earlier tonight, this weekend will be Royals Futures weekend, where the minor league player and pitcher of the year from every affiliate will be in town and will be honored before the game on Friday. On Saturday, they're going to give a clinic, a free clinic to kids at the Urban Youth Academy.
Will it be before or after?
During. During-ish.
Okay.
Yep. And Bob Kendrick of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is offering 2-for-1 tickets to go see the museum, which is just a block away. Ground ball, base hit left field. And the Reds have 2 on with nobody out in the middle of the order coming up. And it's the first time all night that both Schebler and Peraza have reached base.
Yep, McCarthy with his fastball up. And he found a hole.
So anyway, we hope to see you on Saturday for the autographs, the clinic, and just spend the day at the historic 18th and Vine District.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, especially as good as the weather's been.
Joey Votto is 1 for 3 with a first inning single.
You would not expect Votto to bunt in this situation here. He's one of their best hitters.
Down and away, ball 1.
Interesting how, you know, his stance, he really has a low squatting position. He's able to see the ball well coming out of the pitcher's hand and use the whole field.
And look at how much he chokes up on the bat.
Yep.
Two balls, no strikes. You know, he mentioned the Reds outscored the Royals 12-1 back in June, but those were actually close games, with the Reds piling it on late. And Joey Votto had one of those big hits. He had a 3-run double late in one game, and then Adam Duvall, who has since been traded away, he had a grand slam late in the other game. Tapped up the third base side, and McCarthy has no play, and suddenly we're in Pittsburgh again.
Wow. How about that? He couldn't have squared around. Matter of fact, he could have had a catcher's glove or a glove and caught McCarthy's pitch and not rolled it any better than that out of his hand. Man, that's unbelievable. And he didn't try to do that. There's no chance here now. At first base might have been a chance, but the ball's so slick. Rain, 51-minute rain delay earlier. Put it in your pocket and go to pitching now.
In that 3-game series in Pittsburgh, the Pirates had 3 infield hits on the third base side.
Yep.
And now the infield comes in with the bases loaded, nobody out for Suarez.
I hope he hits it right at somebody. They can come home for 1 and go to first for 2. Well, ideally would be a 1-hopper to Dozier at third, step on the bag and get a triple play. But he's moving back now, Dozier. Hard to call a triple play. Have you ever called one of those?
Not that kind of triple play.
No.
2 balls and no strikes. Getting back to Hall of Famer Burt Blyleven's great line. We always say the double play is a pitcher's best friend.
Yeah.
Burt used to say, now a double play is a good friend, but a triple play is your best friend.
Okay.
Two and 0. 3 balls and no strikes. A 4-pitch walk, a ground ball base hit into left field, and an infield single. So 2 of those were the result of some bad fortune for McCarthy, but he also has the leadoff walk, and now he's fallen behind 3-0 on Suarez. And he grounds it to Mondesi. He'll come to the plate 1, Salvi to first, not in time.
I don't know. We better check that out. Wow, what a good play by Mondesi. Good focus and concentration to see that ball into his glove. Ooh, that ball was hit hard. 2-hopper, late hop. Now he's able to get to his feet. I thought he got him at first. Maybe not. No.
Nope.
Okay.
So 6-2. Schebler is out at the plate. Now Cal Eldred's going to come out and visit with McCarthy, with Jeanette coming up. It's been a struggle lately for the Reds on offense. I mentioned prior to tonight's game, they had been shut out in 5 of their previous 9 games. So they are not the most confident offense right now in a situation like this.
Well, you know, with McCarthy's skills of rolling ground balls, he's got a ground ball rate of 65.1%. That's second best among American relievers, American League relievers. And you got Jeanette here. He's rounded into 13. So right man, right spot. Let's see if he takes direction from Cal. As I'm sure he said, roll him up. Let's get out of the inning.
Fastball for a strike. McCarthy has been mostly pitching from behind in this inning, so here he's 0-1. Jeanette, with 1 out last inning, tripled and ended up scoring the tying run. Now he's trying to drive in the go-ahead run. Oh, and 2.
Good change. How about that? Got a change up by him. That's the pitch he likes the best. 415 average.
Just nicked it foul.
Change up, trying to stay on it. Looked like he had some discomfort in his right elbow.
Struck him out. 2 down.
Like the 2 change-ups before that kind of got him looking change, and he snuck a piece of cheese at 91 right on the outer half. Surprised him. Good spot, out of the zone. That's a smart pitch, especially when you're ahead like that. Don't want to give him anything good to hit.
And now Phillip Ervin, who tied the game with a single in the 7th inning. Grounded to third. Dozier will go to second, and Kevin McCarthy cleans up his own mess. The Reds had the bases loaded and nobody out, and they failed to score.
You said it. That Cincinnati Red offense, not very comfortable. Hang with them.
This is just a 2-game series here in Cincinnati. Tomorrow it's Heath Philmeyer against former Royals farmhand Cody Reed, who came over to the Reds in the deal for Johnny Cueto 3 years ago. It'll be the final start of the season for Philmeyer. 3-3 tie. The Reds had the bases loaded and nobody out in the bottom of the 8th, and Kevin McCarthy worked out of his own mess. And now Raisel Iglesias, the Reds closer, with 29 saves, coming on in a tie game in the 9th inning.
And he thought for sure he was coming in for a closing situation. Hang with him. McCarthy, way to go. Way to get out of it. 93 to 100. Heavy, hard sinker. Power slider at 87. Change up at 90. It's good stuff.
Hunter Dozier blasted deep to left field. Gone. And does that bring back some memories in this ballpark?
McCarthy worked out of a no-out bases loaded jam, and you think, you know what, Reds had their chance, and there it is. First pitch he sees, he pounds it. 11th home run of the season. On the second pitch, hey, look, regardless, Royals got the lead. Excellent swing.
And now strike to Brian Goodwin. I recall a very similar home run when we were here 3 years ago. 1 ball and 1 strike on Goodwin. Fouled back to the screen. Royals were down by 1 in the 9th inning. Nobody was doing anything against Aroldis Chapman. 2 outs, 2 strikes in the 9th inning. Ben Zobrist hit it to a Royals fan in left field, and that stunned everybody, just like Dozier's home run stunned the Reds tonight. The Royals went on and won that game in extra innings.
I remember especially how he used to sit his bat down quietly whenever he hit a homer.
But only from the right side, right? He didn't do it from the left side.
Well, I remember, and I asked him, do you know that you just reach down out of the box, just set your bat down? He goes, well, whenever I square a ball up and I hit it well, I seem to do that. Ooh.
That was a big strikeout. Crowd went bananas. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Everybody won pizza.
Yeah, I wondered.
So I guess more than 10 strikeouts. Jeanette runs to the grass and throws out Phillips. Nobody wins anything for that. And that was a huge ovation when Iglesias struck out Goodwin for out number 1. Did you hear that?
I heard it. I got up out of my seat to see what the heck was going on. Man,
free stuff.
Free pizza. If it's free, it's for me. I'll take 3. Iglesias not real happy with himself.
And now Rosel Herrera. And the Royals got him from the Reds earlier this year. And now Jeanette comes in, scoops with his glove, and that was a long scoop, but he gets the out. That won't take the sting away from his strikeout with the bases loaded in the 8th inning. Hunter Dozier homers, and the Royals take a 4-3 lead into the bottom of the 9th.
Trying to close this one out. Coming up on Boulevard Royals Live, Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery, and we'll talk about that dynamic rookie duo once again. Hunter Dozier going deep to give the Royals the lead. Ryan O'Hearn with the blast earlier in the game. That, Ned Yost, and we'll get you ready for tomorrow. Heath Philmeyer, what is he doing to prepare right now for tomorrow's game? Last half inning, I've seen him loading up the back of Jacob Junas's hoodie with sunflower seeds and gum. Got to have some fun, right?
Why not?
Willie Peralta will come on and get the lower third of the order. He's going for his 14th save. And it'll be Barnhart, Dixon, who came on in a double switch, and Hamilton. Barnhart takes a breaking ball for strike one. The Reds are familiar with Peralta. All those years that he pitched in Milwaukee, mostly as a starter. And it's 0-2 on Barnhart. He is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts.
He's got a 3-pitch mix. He'll use them all. Of course, like everybody else, it's all about command and locating that pitch where you want it.
Crack bat. And
Easy.
Dozier slides, and the slide came at the right time. If that was a step later, you're looking at the possibility of a pretty serious injury as hard as he was running.
Nope, you like to hold your breath. You looked down once, he knew where he was. And fortunately, that's the sign board there, which gives a little.
Barnhart cracked his bat. This has been the one-run road trip. Royals are 2-5 so far. Both of their wins have been by 1 run, and 4 of the 5 losses have been by 1 run. Tempted. But Barnhart takes a high fastball, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's not a bad location right there. That sets up the other 2 off-speed pitches. Got a good hard slider and a changeup. You want to keep the changeup away. Don't miss with that, especially ahead in the count like this. Ooh, ooh.
Man,
that was a beauty.
from 0-2 to 3-2. Although I bet right now Peralta and Salvi feel like they were cheated on a pitch.
Make him earn it.
On the ground, Merrifield on the edge of the outfield grass throws out Barnhart. There is one away in the bottom of the 9th inning. And now Brandon Dixon, who came on in a double switch in the top of the 9th inning. So the pitcher spot is the number 6 spot right now in the Reds lineup. This will be Dixon's first career at bat against Peralta. Inside for ball 1.
Peralta knows all about those pinch hitters. So I'm not Don't throw him a first pitch fastball. They'll jump on it. Four guys that have come up for the first time.
Remember Whit Merrifield's walk-off hit to win the College World Series in 2010 for South Carolina. 2 years later, South Carolina was back in the College World Series and they lost to Arizona. And that game-winning hit came from Brandon Dixon. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Whit and Dixon hate each other. No, I just made that up. Whit was already in the Royals organization in 2012, but both have game-winning hits in a College World Series deciding game. Whit's was a walk-off.
How impressive.
Dixon played for the University of Arizona when they beat South Carolina. 3-2. Peralta's gone 3-2 with the first 2 hitters. A 1-out walk. And up comes Billy Hamilton. He is 0 for 3. He struck out in his last at bat, and that was with 2 on and 2 out in the 7th inning. It drops him down to 231 for the season. It has been Skoglund, Flynn, Hill, Mauer, McCarthy, and Peralta.
Don't like your chances of doubling up Hamilton.
Something needs to be recalibrated tonight. Either the strike zone grid or Tom Hallion's strike zone.
Yep. Just one ground ball double play he's grounded into, Hamilton.
Because the pitches that Hallion didn't call appeared to be strikes on the left side on your screen of the strike zone, but he's calling what appear to be balls on the right side of the strike zone. Like that. In that area right there, he is not calling strikes. Just foul. And that would have been trouble. Although, seeing what that ball did, it hit that side wall that's angles directly toward the left field line. Alex Gordon may have been able to get to that ball before Dixon would have been able to go first to third. One of the quirks of this asymmetric ballpark. Backing out of play. Royals took a 3-0 lead in the 4th inning tonight. Goodwin had an RBI single in the 2nd. O'Hearn hit a 2-run home run in the 4th. And then the Reds got a 2-run home run in the 5th from pinch hitter Dilson Herrera. Then they tied the game in the 7th. They had the bases loaded, nobody out in the 8th, and did not score. And then Hunter Dozier homered leading off the 9th. And here we are 4-3 in the bottom of the 9th. Hamilton, ground ball right side, and it's off of Whit's glove and into right field, but Phillips was charging hard, so Dixon stops at second base.
That's one of those, you see the ball had eyes on it. I mean, it was as slow can be to get through it just in the right spot.
I don't know if Dixon could have gone first to third, Hud, but I don't think he was keeping an eye on his third base coach.
Yeah, that's a problem. Ball's behind you like that. If you want to make sure in a game like this where it's on the line, pick up the third base coach halfway to second base.
I mentioned as the Reds were struggling through the bottom of the 8th inning. This is not a confident offense at the moment. And coming into this inning, they are 6 for their last 66 with runners in scoring position. They have a 1-out walk followed by a single. And now here's Schebler, who led off the 8th inning with a walk and was out later in the inning on a force out at the plate.
Hamilton at first base. Always stay away from doubles.
Grounded to Mondesi. He'll play it to third. And Dozier gets his foot on the bag in front of the sliding Dixon.
Heads up. Yep. Ball took him that way. Would have been a tough round the horn thrown across your body to Merrifield. Could have threw it away. Instead, he takes the sure out. That's smart.
Remember, we had a play just like that the other night in Detroit when you and I both thought he would do that. And he threw back across his body and did get an out at first base.
Yeah, but you know, this type of game, it's good to see a young player like Mondesi make the smart for sure play. You throw the ball away, it's a tie game.
So 2 on, 2 out to Jose Peraza.
This guy's a contact hitter. 277 hitter with a runner in scoring position.
Fastball for a strike.
It sprays the ball to all fields. Hamilton, great speed at second.
Grounded, fair. Dozier just saved the game. He did not get an out, but he got a glove on it. It's an infield base hit.
Not so sure he would have thrown him out had he gloved it cleanly. So that might have worked out in the Royals' favor. Peraza can run. That ball's right over the base. You see how sloppy the track is, a little bit muddy. Good job of stopping it there. Now Peralta's got to pick him up. One of their best hitters up right here.
Votto has 2 singles tonight. And he has seen a lot of Peralta over the years. Peralta was with the Brewers. They're in the same division as the Reds, and Peralta was a starter. So Votto has 39 at-bats against Peralta. 13 hits. So that's .333. Outside for ball 1.
Change up.
Grounded out to Witt. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty. But Peralta gets the job done. And he is still perfect in save situations. He got some help from his defense. Dozier's dive kept the ball on the infield and kept the tying run and winning run on base. And the Royals, with an early lead, watch the Reds tie it. And before Dozier made the big play on defense, he had the home run that put the Royals in front in the 9th inning.
Another one-run game. They'll take the W. Eighth inning, McCarthy. Nobody out. Redlegs all over the bases. So why not take the out? Sure went at first. Ended up being safe there. McCarthy says, you know what? I'm going to get you on the outside part. Scooter Jeanette, gone. Nice job. And then here we go. Get the sure out. They get out of the inning. Wow.